According to the British Daily Express report, Martian boy Boriska Kiprianovich, his ability to master knowledge is still a scientific mystery. The Martian boy predicted that the Chinese sage would save the world. But whether people believe what he says or not, Boriska raises thought-provoking questions about the fate of humanity. According to the report, Boriska said that he had flown to ancient Egypt, and the Martian civilization is closely related to ancient Egypt. In particular, the Sphinx next to the Khafre pyramid contains profound meanings. When its mechanism is opened, the whole earth will be turned upside down. Boriska also said that this mechanism is behind the ear of the Sphinx. He said, when the Sphinx is opened, human life changes. Somewhere behind its ear, there is a mechanism that can be opened. I can't remember exactly where it is. A 20-year-old Russian young man named Boriska claimed to be the reincarnation of Martians. He can tell the basic structure and power plant of the Martian flying saucer, and knows that the Martian has mastered the secret of immortality, and his body will no longer age after the age of 35, but what really made him famous is his story about the Martian speech that once had close association with the ancient Egyptians. He told people that the day when the Sphinx was unsealed was the day when human beings underwent great changes. In particular, he told the interviewer that there is a secret mechanism behind the ears of the Sphinx. Huge change. Afterwards, some curious people went behind the ears of the Sphinx to look for this hidden mechanism that was ignored by all human beings. It is strange that this mechanism really exists. But it was blocked by a stone, and there was no way to find it. Open. When people came to ask how to open the mechanism, Boriska scratched his head and said that he could not remember the steps to open the mechanism, and suggested that human beings should not force it open at present. If the time is up, human beings will master the method and step. According to Boriska, the Sphinx contains the entire evolution history of Mars, the Earth, and human beings, the life-evolution relationship between Sirius and the solar system, the technical secrets of interstellar navigation, and even the formation and development of the universe. Many mysteries will also have ultimate answers. There is another messenger coming to the world. At that time, everything will be revealed. Boriska said. But when people asked him when the messenger would come, he said it was not easy to predict yet. When asked whether this messenger appeared in the world as a great scientist, Boriska said that he would be greater than a scientist because he is almost an all-rounder. In short, regarding this report, we can look at it rationally and just satisfy our human curiosity. However, we still hope that what he said is true, because in this way, human beings will leap into a new and great era that has never been seen before. Boriska was born in January 1996 in the town of Volginsky in the northern region of Volgograd, Russia. His mother Nadezhda is a doctor and his father is a retired military officer. Daily Express said that Boriska's mother also described that he could raise his head a few weeks after birth, speak in a few months, and read, write and draw at the age of 2. In particular, they have never taught him astronomy, but Boriska can describe Mars, planetary systems, and alien cultures and so on. Russia's Pravda reported in March 2004 that the 7-year-old Boriska claimed to be from Mars, and showed amazing talent and extraordinary talents. Boriska told his parents about his previous life on Mars. After a devastating catastrophe, the Martian atmosphere has been wiped out. Mars was inhabited before. After a devastating disaster, the atmosphere of Mars disappeared, and the Martian residents had to live in dungeons until today. Since then, various sources have continued to report on Boriska's public expression. What shocked the world was that Boriska, who was only 11 years old at the time, warned people in stern language that the greatest danger on Earth is fetishism. Although the media have questioned Boriska's words, no one dares to deny that his intelligence level is far beyond his age, even unbelievably high. For example, scientists once asked, "Do you know the Book of Changes in China?" Boriska replied, "Of course." The scientist asked again, "You don't know Chinese characters, how do you know such profound knowledge?" Boriska, "Socrates could not read, but he was a great philosopher." Boriska once showed scientists the mysteries of China's Hiju and Luoshu that he understood. For example, Boriska said, "The sum of all the numbers in the result of multiplying random combinations of any set of numbers in Luoshu is 9. For example, 429x 528x 618 equals 139984416. 1 plus 3 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 6 equals 45, 4 plus 5 equals 9, then the sum of the digits of 139984416 is also 9. The 3 warning catastrophes have all come true. Some media revealed that someone once asked whether there will be a disaster warning during the transition period of 2011 to 2012. The 11-year-old Boriska said with a serious expression, "On your Earth, in 2011, there will be 3 major disasters. The disaster is not global, but a continent on the Earth. In this year, there will be 3 catastrophes. A catastrophe occurs, and the disaster is related to water. At the same time, the plague will rage again, and the new mutated bird flu virus will bring you serious disasters, although this is not what we hope to see. But this is a necessary process. This is the purification of the earth where humans live by the kingdom of God, because if you don't reach a certain point, you humans will not wake up, and violence and war on the earth will always exist. And only when you understand the power and importance of oneness and love, can you appreciate the significance of everything we do." Looking back now, the 2011 311 earthquake and tsunami in Japan, the 2011 Thailand flood, the 2012 New York flood. The 3 water-related catastrophes predicted by Boriska may be the 311 earthquake and tsunami in Japan, the floods in Thailand and the recent flooding of New York. Describes 2 things. At that time, Boriska shocked many people because he described 2 things, Lemurians, and telling the past of Mars and Earth in a mature vocabulary. The report at the time described it like this: "It is incredible that a 7-year-old boy can clearly describe the Lemurian civilization that even a university history professor cannot describe clearly." The continent of Lemuria is a hypothetical continent of the Indian Ocean inferred from the distribution of lemurs in Madagascar by zoologists and biogeographers in the book The Mammals of Madagascar in 1864. Boriska. Recently, a Russian kid actually said that he is from Mars. This Martian boy has many talents and talents that are different from ordinary people. He told about his life on Mars and the mysterious continent Limo at the bottom of the Indian Ocean. Rhea disappears. The Martian boy also made a grand prediction that the first major catastrophe will occur on a continent on Earth in 2020, and a second, more devastating catastrophe will occur in 2050. Many people were surprised to find that this mysterious boy had at least 2 distinctive characteristics. First of all, Boriska has unusually rich knowledge, and his intelligence is significantly higher than that of an ordinary 7-year-old child. Lemuria is a legendary mysterious country at least 800,000 years ago. Not to mention children, even university professors are not known to everyone, but he tells the history, civilization, and residents of this ancient country in detail like a few treasures. A second striking feature was the young boy's impressive verbal skills. He is proficient in various technical terms, has detailed information, and is even familiar with the history of Mars and Earth. Amazingly, at the age of 1.5, he was already able to read headlines in newspapers. After the age of 2, Boriska has an extraordinary memory and an incredible ability to master new knowledge. However, his parents soon discovered that their child was getting information in a unique way, from a mysterious place. Since he was 2 years old, he has talked about the universe, the endless stories of other worlds and the endless sky every day like a sutra. The boy recalled, at that time, a catastrophe occurred on the Earth, and a huge continent was swallowed by stormy sea water. Suddenly, a huge rock fell on a building where my friend happened to be, and I didn't have time to save him. The boy vividly described the whole picture of the disappearance of Lemuria as if it happened yesterday. At the same time, he took out a piece of chalk and drew a circular object on the blackboard. He said, "Our spacecraft is made up of 6 layers. The outer layer accounts for 25% and is made of strong metal. The second layer accounts for 30% and is made of a substance similar to rubber. The third layer is 30% and is also metal. The last layer is only 4% and is made of a special magnetic material. If we energize this magnetosphere, a spacecraft can fly anywhere in the universe." Some remarks by Boriska. Humans always think that what they see is the truth, and what they can't see is all lies. Before all the disasters on the Earth happened, you didn't believe it would happen, but it did happen. Human beings couldn't see it before. Everything you get becomes the truth, and you always pretend to be smart. You don't know, and you don't have a deep understanding of the great meaning of love. Your material civilization, compared to the past, seems to be unprecedentedly developed, but you ignore your spiritual civilization. If this continues, your civilization will be destroyed. Your world is materialistic, your technology, your everything revolves around matter, around money. Many people on Earth think that atomic weapons are the greatest danger, but they are not. The greatest danger is materialism. You already know why there are more and more violent incidents on the Earth. You should stop and think about what you have done. If the environment of the Earth is damaged again, the Earth will destroy you, not you. Remember, science is always a double-edged sword. If you don't know how to use it properly, your civilization will surely go to destruction, that is, it will disappear on the Earth forever. The great enemy among you humans is the total lack of mutual love and understanding between you. Love, not war, or mankind will perish. Attachment, the Martian boy said amazingly, China undertakes a specific mission. The Martian boy prophesied that China would be the chosen country, and the Earth protector would be born in China. The appearance of the Martian boy was during the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. At that time, the two countries had just launched rockets to explore the universe. Recently, the Martian boy has attracted attention again. He said that China is an ancient and mysterious country. It is a country chosen by the kingdom of God. In the future, a guardian god will appear in China. As soon as this remark came out, it caused an uproar. It is said that the boy named Boriska traveled long distances from a mysterious place Mars to the mysterious Medvedskaya Gryada in the northern part of Volgograd, Russia area. Who is the great spiritual guide you are talking about born in China? The reporter asked. Boriska looked around and said, I can't tell who he is doing something very meaningful, and I am not the only one who follows his reincarnation, but there are many gods reincarnated. One of them was his protector. If I tell him his name and where he is, his country will drive him out, and even crucify him in a new cross like man crucified Jesus. The media questioned what Boriska said. You were born in Russia, why do you always mention China, a country that is completely unfamiliar to you? Boriska said, I don't know why I was born in this part of the earth, but I believe that I have a mission like a great guide. Please don't worry, China, the country chosen by the kingdom of God to reincarnate the gods who bear the mission, has a specific historical identity. Just like your history says, China is waking up like a sleeping army. There the great guide has been born and has grown, the great guide of the light. As long as you are willing to exert your own light and power, you will find that you are constantly being protected, and you will also see how you are saved. This is in the future, and you will see it soon. But all of this also requires the joint efforts of you human beings. If you are negative, unwilling to receive our help, unwilling to study, and do not strive to improve your level of consciousness, then no one can help you. Because the decision rests with you, no one can predict the exact time when this final moment will come. But, most likely, after your planet goes through a certain period of purification, after a series of special events, a solid foundation will be laid for the sound of harmony on your planet. In one of the great pyramids of the 4th dynasty in Egypt, there was a royal hall and a sarcophagus in the royal hall. Napoleon once spent a night alone in this room when he conquered Egypt in the late 18th century. The next morning he came out of the room trembling and pale, evidently bewildered by what had happened to him. Welcome to pay attention to the WeChat official account Xiao Ei sees the world. And Boriska used this well-known phrase accurately. Russian scientist Rudolf questioned Boriska's misunderstanding of Napoleon's words, because historians generally believe that Napoleon's words meant that China in the east will rise. And Boriska disagreed. He said, scientists are very stupid, they only stay on the surface of the text, they obviously can't know the heart of the dead person, people will only tell the truth when they are dying, and Napoleon is the same in this way. Famous physicist and astronomer Hawking said in an interview during his lifetime, whether is from Mars or not, this Martian kid's knowledge of the universe and astronomy has exceeded my imagination. With this realization, we cannot ignore his cosmology and his predictions about the world to come. Recently, many articles on the internet have said that China and Russia will cooperate in satellite navigation, which also makes the United States feel tremendous pressure. With the continuation of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, Russia has become more and more aware that technology not only has a greater influence in modern life, but also plays a pivotal role in the military field. Because Ukraine has caused heavy losses to the Russian army with the help of advanced technologies provided by the United States and Western countries, especially the Starlink technology provided by Musk. Therefore, Putin has realized that in modern warfare, it may not be possible to win the final victory only by relying on the power of the Russian army to suppress it. Therefore, this also contributed to the cooperation between China and Russia in satellite navigation. A few days ago, at the Communications 2023 exhibition in Russia, 77 Chinese communication equipment manufacturers participated in the exhibition with the most advanced products. China will display products in the fields of Baidu satellite navigation, drones, Internet of Things, 5G and LTE, wireless communications, servers and optical fiber equipment, and promote its own services to Russia and other countries. Therefore, the news that China and Russia will carry out in-depth cooperation in the field of satellite navigation is still very credible. In fact, the Russians are many years ahead of us in satellite navigation. GLONASS, developed by Russia, is one of the earliest global navigation systems built in Russia. As early as 1976, the former Soviet Union officially launched the GLONASS project, using 24 satellites to achieve global positioning services, which can provide high-precision three-dimensional space and speed information, as well as timing services. However, due to the low level of satellite and electronic design in the Soviet Union, the design life of these test satellites in the Soviet Union is generally very short, most of which are only 1 year. During 1985 to 1986, Russia launched 6 real GLONASS satellites, but the lifespan of these satellites is still not good, only about 16 months average lifespan. Although Russia has since launched 12 improved satellites, half of the satellites were lost due to launch accidents, and the design life of these newly launched satellites is only 2 years. However, it should be admitted that it is quite remarkable that Russia can successfully develop the GLONASS system when the US GPS is the only one. In 2014, in the Logistics and Transportation Center project of the Sochi Winter Olympics, GLONASS was used to manage railway transportation, road transportation, sea transportation, Russia, and other transportation methods, and for the first time developed a public transportation system for freight operators and their customers. Integrated Information System. Moreover, everyone has also seen that during the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Russia used high-precision missiles many times to destroy many important targets of the Ukrainian army. If there is no GLONASS system to provide technical support for the missile, it may be difficult to achieve the expected effect. In particular, Russia used UPAB-500, UPAB-1500, and UPAB-50S, 3 kinds of gliding guided bombs in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They use satellite navigation plus inertial navigation, so the GLONASS system has made great contributions. However, the accuracy of the GLONASS system is not high, it is said to be only 10 meters. Moreover, Western countries are likely to provide the Ukrainian army with devices to interfere with the GLONASS, reducing the hit accuracy of Russian bombs. Therefore, this may be the reason why Russia did not do much damage to Ukraine despite launching a large number of missiles. For example, during a bombing, a missile landed at an intersection without hitting any buildings. Moreover, the distance from the building of the Ukrainian Ministry of the Interior or the office of the Ukrainian President is 800 to 1,100 meters away, making Russia embarrassed in front of the whole world. In terms of satellite technology, China started relatively late. In 1970, China's first satellite, Dongfang-Hong-1, was launched. In terms of satellite navigation, it lags far behind the United States and Russia. Before that, China has been renting the GPS satellite navigation system of the United States. However, the United States actually took this as a threat. Therefore, in the last century, our country was bullied by the United States because of this. Among them, the Yinhe was on the high seas in 1993 and was boarded and searched by the US military for no reason, which is the greatest insult to us. However, if it is placed today, it will never happen again. Because China's own Baidu navigation system has been networked and operated. Moreover, the technical level of Baidu has even surpassed the GPS of the United States. It can be said that the Baidu navigation system has come from behind, and its positioning accuracy has reached the world's first, reaching the level of 1 millimeter, which is already the ultimate accuracy of satellite positioning. It can be seen that Baidu has far surpassed the global satellite navigation system of the United States. GPS civilian positioning accuracy is about 10 meters, and military grade is 0.1 meters. Moreover, the bigger difference is that Baidu has the function of short message. In September last year, Huawei announced that its Mate 50 series mobile phones support Baidu 3 short message communication service, which makes Baidu short message communication service officially enter the public application from industry applications. Moreover, the Baidu short message communication service is a unique service of the Baidu system. The Global Positioning System, GPS, of the United States, the GLONASS system of Russia, GLONASS, and the Galileo Satellite Navigation System, Galileo Satellite Navigation System, of Europe, neither have this feature. At present, Baidu's short message function has been applied on various military platforms. On the airborne platform, electronic reconnaissance equipment can be carried, and two-way data communication can be carried out with the ground central station through the Baidu user machine. Therefore, this makes the US imperialists very scared, because this is equivalent to making China a generation ahead of the US in the field of satellite communications. However, what scares the US imperialists even more is that China and Russia are strengthening cooperation in the field of satellite navigation. In fact, this kind of cooperation started as early as last year. On September 27, 2022, according to a report on the website of the Russian Kommersant, Russia and China signed an agreement to deploy the GLONASS global navigation satellite system and Baidu system ground stations in each other's territory. According to the agreement, GLONASS and the Baidu system will respectively set up ground stations in China and Russia. Among them, 3 Russian measuring stations will be built in Changchun, Urumqi, and Shanghai, China, and 3 Chinese measuring stations will be built in Obninsk, Irkutsk, and Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. Therefore, this cooperation between China and Russia is equivalent to sending charcoal in a timely manner to GLONASS, which has lost its global networking capabilities, and help Russia solve its urgent needs. At the same time, Russia's advantages in the aerospace field also provide my country with ideas for research and development of new technologies. Therefore, this is a perfect win-win cooperation. Today, with the help of China, Russia has upgraded and improved the GLONASS system satellite constellation, and is preparing to launch the GLONASS VKK orbiting satellite in 2026, increasing its positioning accuracy to 10 centimeters and reducing the error to 0.1. According to reports, at 10:49 on May 17, my country successfully launched the 56th Baidu navigation satellite Long March 3B carrier rocket at the Zhikane Satellite Launch Center. This launch is China's first related satellite launch since the completion of the Baidu global network, so it is of great significance. Because, through this launch, on-orbit hot backup can be realized for the existing Baidu 3 system geostationary orbit satellites, thereby enhancing the availability and robustness of the Baidu 3 global satellite navigation system. In layman's terms, even if a satellite in orbit fails, it will not affect the overall operation of Baidu. Of course, its military use is even greater. Once a major power conflict occurs, the satellite navigation system must be the first target to be attacked. However, China has now started satellite hot backup. In other words, once the satellite in orbit is attacked, the backup satellite can immediately go on top, buying precious time for China to implement a strategic counterattack. In particular, China and Russia will make up for each other's technical shortcomings through complementary satellite navigation technology cooperation, which can once again enhance the power of the satellite navigation systems of the two countries. However, this is not good news for the United States. Because two powerful enemies suddenly join forces, it will inevitably produce a special power of 1 + 1 greater than 2. Once a war breaks out, the United States will not dare to attack the Baidu satellite navigation system rashly. This may be our greatest confidence in daring to be tough on the United States. In 1409 AD, also the 7th year of Emperor Yongle of the Ming dynasty, hundreds of well-equipped fleets sailed into Ceylon, an island country in the Indian Ocean. The purpose of the fleet coming here is not for aggression or plunder, but for a friendly visit. I saw that the captain of the fleet was wearing a python suit, with a dignified appearance, but his eyes were firm, and he had the calmness to read the sea. This person is none other than Zhen He, the chief inspector of the first fleet of the Ming dynasty, who was very popular in the court of the Ming dynasty. He was an eunuch, he was quite courageous. Following Emperor Qing's expeditions to the north and south, he made many military exploits. Later, he was reused by the emperor and led the fleet to make 2 missions to the west to gain fame outside the region. This is the 3rd time to go to the west, and Zhen He's mood is like the dazzling sun on the sea, shining brightly. The distant land gradually became clearer as the line of sight became clearer, but the huge port was empty. Zhen He frowned. This visit to Ceylon is not the first time. The last time I came here, Ceylon saw that the Ming army was magnificent. All the princes and ministers of Ceylon warmly entertained the Ming army and wrote letters to pay tribute to the Ming emperor. This blatant breach of decorum was clearly no coincidence. But Zhen He is a person who has seen big scenes after all. After telling the left and right his thoughts, he called 2,000 guards to disembark, intending to find out. Walking halfway, Zhen He and others met a messenger dressed in local clothes. The envoy told Zhen He, "Your Majesty heard that the Heavenly Master was coming, and he was afraid of being negligent. He specially sent a young man to greet him, and hoped that your Excellency would forgive him." Ian's Hunman banquet was a little too clumsy. But thinking if you don't enter the tiger's lair, how can you catch tiger cubs, Zhen He still planned to go, so he told the envoy, "Thank you for your kindness, Your Majesty, please take us there." After some trekking, Zhen He and his men came to Wangchen. The royal city of Ceylon is naturally not as majestic as Daming's, but in the past in the royal city, it was a pleasant feeling to have a drink and talk under the scorching tropical sun, but today the joy is no longer there, but it is a bit more chilling. A man in luxurious clothes came from the top of the city, and shouted to Zhen He and others, "Master Zhen He, please come here without any harm. What do you do when you come here this time?" Nair, when she saw Zhen He and the others last time, she greeted them with a smile and was very hospitable, but now she looks at these friends who came from afar with sinister eyes. Zhen He said, "Your Majesty, don't come here without any problems. Last time when my navy commander visited your country was extremely hospitable to guests. We had a good time talking and drinking. The emperor of Ming dynasty was also very happy and promised to I will give you more rewards. Now that we have come here for the second time, no one greets us, and there is no hospitality. What do you mean? Do you want to offend the majesty of my Ming dynasty?" Ariel Kunal lowered his eyes and said, "Humph, you Ming? Last time I entertained you, I was so angry. Why do you foreign thieves and unknown emperors dare to give orders to us? Today, you don't give all leave behind your treasures and weapons, don't even think about leaving." After hearing this, Zhen He thought that it was really what he thought. Out of the etiquette of the celestial dynasty, Zhen He advised, "Your Majesty, please think clearly. If you offend Daming, the consequences will be disastrous." Ariel Kunal waved his hand, "Don't try to scare us. I have already sent 50,000 troops to surround your fleet. If you don't surrender now, you will be killed on the spot." Zhen He found that the current situation was far more serious than he thought, but after all, Zhen He had been on the battlefield for a long time, and after thinking for a while, he found a good plan, and shouted to Ariel Kunal, "Your Majesty, if this is the case, you can give me a night to let him go. How about I convince the sergeants?" Seeing that the victory came so easily, Ariel Kunal was overjoyed. "Okay, I'll give you one night." It was night. Zhen He and others set up a tent outside the city, and it seemed that they were planning to come to negotiate and soften. From the surprise in the morning to the anger outside the palace, and then to the confusion at night, the soldiers beside him wondered if the once invincible Zhen He really planned to give in. The soldiers were outraged and came to Zhen He's camp one after another to ask for an explanation. Zhen He saw how excited the crowd was, and said with a smile, "Everyone still doesn't know Zhen He's character? How could I surrender to a foreign country?" In fact, Zhen He had a plan long ago. If the main force of the thieves and bandits are all out, the royal city must be empty, and they think we are far away. Come here, you will be timid and dare not do anything. Zhen He's move is to paralyze the enemy. It is already late at night. If we attack at this time, we will be able to take advantage of the vacancy, capture defeat first, and turn defeat into victory. Since everyone has come then, they all drew their swords and punished the thieves. After hearing this, all the soldiers were full of enthusiasm and followed Zhen He into the royal city of Ceylon. When the Ceylon soldiers were dozing off, seeing the sudden appearance of the Ming army, they were frightened and rushed to fight. Even though Ceylon had a large number of people, they could not stop the surprise attack and bravery of the Ming army. In less than half an hour, the Ming army entered the palace of Ceylon. At this time, Naui may still be dreaming of taking illicit wealth arrogance. Zhen He grabbed him off the bed and said fiercely, "Your Majesty, this is what I, De Ming, gave you reply." Ariel Kunal suddenly opened his eyes, and found that Zhen He appeared in front of him, like the king of Hades, shouting for mercy. Zheng He said, "Leave this to our Ming Emperor." Zheng He and others dragged Ariel Kunal to the port. When the Ceylon army saw the king captured, most of them scattered with birds and beasts, and the rest bowed their heads and surrendered. A Ming dynasty version of the sea crisis was deftly resolved by Zheng He with a calm mind and the strategy of capture the thief first and capture the king first. And the method of this battle has become the earliest beheading operation in the world. After this battle, all countries in Southeast Asia were in awe of the majesty of the Ming dynasty, and sent envoys to the Central Plains to pay tribute. The Ming dynasty also realized the scene of all nations coming to court. Time flies, and the ocean where Zheng He walked has passed more than 600 springs and autumns. After Zheng He, the Ming dynasty did not reproduce the feats of Zheng He's period due to the limitations of the feudal bureaucracy and the decline of national power. As a result, Chinese history has entered an ocean window period of hundreds of years. But time pays off. Following the painful lessons of the Opium War, China has experienced the baptism of a century of national liberation struggle, and the accumulation of strength in the past 40 years of reform and opening up. In the 21st century, China once again embraces the ocean with open arms. Today's China is able to escort overseas Chinese in the Red Sea, has 3 modern aircraft carriers, and a powerful maritime force with a total tonnage of more than 2.4 million tons. China once again has the ability to say no at sea. Times have changed, but the responsibility of the Chinese Navy to protect national interests will not change. I believe that Zheng He's beheading operation feat will once again be the price that other countries in this ocean fear, and the Chinese Navy will once again leave its own legend in the ocean. Chinese Navy, stepping into the deep sea.